What has happened with that? What has happened? Something's happened. Oh, no, he's just not there. He's just not there.
Hello, sir.
Oh, there he is.
How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. I just figured I'd do an intro that goes really well with the dirty moustache that's on my face right now.
He is a professional radio dude, professional TV guy, amateur Twitch guy.
Very amateur Twitch guy.
It's not commercial enough for him.
I am the most professional broadcaster you will ever come across in your entire life. And when it comes to Twitch, I am a shit show. I'm not going to lie.
Coming up after the break, Secret Sound. What is this noise? Win $10,000. Be the 10th caller.
Look at that. Episode 001, Pete Curulli. What a genuine pleasure to pop the Jibber Jabber cherry, my friend. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Someone need to pop it, and with that moustache, might as well be you.
Who wants mustache ride?
Do you like how optimistic I am? The fact that I've made it 001.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're gonna have 100 of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're going with 3 figures. You've been incredibly optimistic. I'd start with 1.
I should have started with 1.
Yeah, and let's just see if you can double it. And then if you double it, then let's just go from there.
We could do that. Yeah. I should actually probably record this too. So I'm going to locally record this so I can put it on the YouTubes. So I've done that. So we'll have to cut the front from the VOD, and then we'll at Magic we'll get it sorted. And scene. There we go. That's where the cut will be. Oh, I've got to turn off alert box. Where's the alert box?
What's this thing that's on me bloody on me Twitch? Oh, that's what it is. That's an ad break? Look at you.
Oh, you've got an ad break.
I've got an ad break. I
run ad breaks to get rid of some pre-rolls because on Twitch, like the pre-rolls, if I run 30-second ads every half hour, it gets rid of 10 minutes of pre-roll.
Is that right?
That is right. So now
you are a man of your people.
So there's 23 seconds of an ad left, and then I'll get a good 10 minutes of no pre-rolls.
I'm really impressed. Somebody said, so hi, can I just say hello to some people in chat? Is that okay?
You won't get ads now because you've just been gifted. So there you go.
Who gifted me?
Thank you, JB.
Thank you, JB. Thank you so much.
Thank you, JB. Go for it. First of all, before you chat to people in chat, who the hell are you? For people that don't know you, we've got a lot of people in the UK and America, and probably the eastern seaboard that probably don't know too much about you. So why don't you tell us about everything that is involved with you?
How disappointing my career has been that dry. That these people don't know about me. So thank you. I appreciate it. It's nice to be here. Hello to everybody across the oceans and across the other side of the country. So I'm in Western Australia, Perth, born and bred, hail from Perth, and I'm a commercial FM broadcaster. So I'm currently on the Hit Network. I'm on a station called Mix 94.5, and we're a breakfast show called the Pete, Matt and Kimber Show. And I've been with the Hit Network for about 20 odd years. And if you're over in the East Coast, for example, if you're in Sydney, I'm on your equivalent of Today FM. If you're in Victoria, I'm on your equivalent of Fox FM. And then, the rest of the country, you can figure that out. And about 6 years ago, started a games podcast that you can actually see on the screen as we speak right now. God, it's nice having program. Jurdman, you are amazing. You are absolutely amazing.
I tend to produce the shit out of things. I try.
It is. You do such a wonderful job, so you come produce our show. We need it. So
done.
That guy, those two guys that you can see there, that other dude is the original co-host of the Game on Australia podcast. We've been through many iterations. We've slowly grown over time, and now we have a wonderful community of Game on Australia peeps. And this year we started working on an independent cloud games arcade that is going to launch in a couple of months called 3 Little Pixels, all to help indie developers get their content out there because Australia is amazing. And that's the long and short of it, my friend.
There you go. We stumbled into, we've been chatting on Twitter and the socials, Elon Musk's favorite little network. I've been chatting on the socials for a little bit, and as with the industry, you sort of chat with people and you sort of become aware of people, and then you sort of, gravitate towards people that you see that you sort of have same sort of shared interests with. And funnily enough, we ran into each other in the indie section at PAX because we both love indie games. And I was checking out I spent the first. I'd never been to PAX before, and I spent the first. Pretty much the entire day just like in the indie section and looking at the old school game section. And I just was just completely, I just fell in love with all the stuff that we saw. I had so many pamphlets and stickers and cards and everything from all those wonderful indie devs. There was people from Australia, New Zealand. There was a lovely lady from Malaysia who had Cuisinart, which looked fantastic.
Oh, yes.
So there was lots of indie games that were amazing, and for someone that streamed like 300 games on Twitch in 2.5 years, nearly 3 years, we love an indie game, especially an Aussie indie game as well. So I like the fact that you're trying to bring light to that. A lot of times I'll play a game and people will have never heard of it, or they'll go and look it up and they'll say, why haven't I heard of this game? And then they'll, might wishlist it. Wishlisting games makes a big deal, is a big deal to devs and stuff, because it lets Steam know that people are interested in that game. So if there's an indie game that you like, wishlist it. Just wishlist it, because it really helps the devs out.
I can tell you why you chances are you haven't heard it. That's because 11,000 games were released last year on Steam, and 98% of them are by independent developers. And this is where sort of like my story comes into it and what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And that is the fact that I love the independent developer scene because for me, the indie dev scene, I resonate so heavily with them because they're content people, and you as a content person will understand this. It's a constant grind. It is a constant grind. It is constant sacrifice, and you're doing it for your art, your genuine passion. And that really resonated with me. And the reason why I came across it was because we did a one-on-one indie dev series, these one-on-one fireside chats. It was just a one-off series called Indie or Die. And we did it for Game in Australia. And through that, I got a really great understanding of some incredible indie dev studios across Australia, across the Dutch to New Zealand, some overseas as well. And just pretty much heard amazing stories. And these were quite successful studios, but heard the same thing throughout the entire thing. There was one consistent line through that, and that was, if you're getting into indie games development, prepare to head down, ass up. I'm prepared to be looking over the cliff and over your back the entire time, because it's a bloody tough industry. It's incredibly heavily saturated. The wish listing that you mentioned there before, mate, to actually get deep enough into Steam's algorithm to have it start pushing you to people who it thinks should be playing your game, you got to be averaging a wish list of about 10,000. Like,
wow.
And that's bloody hard. Like the average independent developer, their game gets bought 300 times. Like those are the sort of numbers that we're talking here. So support your indie devs. But yeah, 3 Little Pixels is all about that. It's a curated playlist. We've got a few studios already committed to the platform. And the whole point of it is that we're going to make a really great area where you can come and you can play Australian content, and we're going to find Australian studios. We're going to help take them to the world to try and beat that heavy saturation in the industry, and to try to help them make a career out of what it is that they want to do, which is bring their art to the world, basically.
I will show you. I will tell you about the indie game that I fell in love with this year. That Jurdman will immediately know which game I'm going to talk about. But I'll show you. Dinkum. Oh man.
Oh, hey, Dinkum.
310 hours in Dinkum, streamed every single hour. Here we go. Let's look at this little promo video. Here we go. All right, there you go. So that is 3 Little Pixels. Now, exclamation pixels in chat. That'll link you to. There's a timer in chat too. That'll link you to the website where you can sign up and log in. Go do that. We love our indie games. That'll link you to the Discord as well, and that'll link you to their Twitter, which is currently on the screen just down here. 3 Little Pixels. That is 3. The word 3, not 3 the letter 3. So
Yeah,
3.
unfortunately, the number 3 was taken already.
I did. When I was trying to find the link, I'm like, why is it not popping up? And I'm like, okay, there we go. Yes, so that'll link you to all that.
Yep. So we do have a registration portal which you can go to as well, which is register.3littlepixels.com. But my recommendation is go to the Discord. That's where we're conversing with everybody. And what we're looking for right now, we're looking for great indie studios, which is great. And I'm having wonderful conversations with indie studios across the country and across to New Zealand. But we're looking for players to participate in our private beta sessions in the next couple of weeks and in the coming months. And these are the players that are going to get a little extra. We have an intermediary currency on our platform. It's not cryptocurrency. It's not NFTs. It's none of that stuff. It's just basically.
I heard FTX is pretty good. I'm going to get in some FTX. I heard that's on the rise. Yes.
Don't you dare bring the devil in here. Bring the devil in here.
FTX bang. It's bad when you got a stadium sponsored by a cryptocurrency and then the cryptocurrency goes belly up and the stadium's like, well, I guess we'll call it something else.
It makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick what has happened there because it's involved a lot of people who I reckon over the last couple of years. And I love the fact we can discuss this because this is a podcast. This is what's so great about doing a podcast. But the last couple of years, there's been a lot of what they call retail investors, Papa Mama types who have downloaded these crazy gamified retail investing apps on their phones and they've thrown their money into it and they've thrown their money into crypto and yada, yada, yada. And, the underlying technology of Web3, can't wait for that to be fully developed. It's going to be amazing. But what's happening with crypto and people, and industry companies like FTX and such, it sucks because people are losing their money and that's really sad. But just going back to, so the whole point is you come on as a player, you come onto the platform, you load your cash and your account with pixel points. You get pixel points in return. Everybody who is diving in for the private early beta sessions that we're going to be launching very soon, you're going to be getting a whole heap of extra pixel points, and there will be no money down for the private beta sessions either. The whole point of this is for us to learn from you as to what's going to make this platform great. And our first port of call is, can we serve you great games? Can you get on there? Can you stream them? Can you play them? Does it work well? Can you get off there? Can you come back and resume a game and then come back afterwards and so on and so forth? And just trying to get that right first is our most important priority and provide a really great games experience and play experience. And you would have also seen in that hot little video, pay for play, which also I can tell you that all of the games that you saw in that video are all games that are committed to the platform. They're all studios that are coming to 3 Little Pixels. But you would have seen pay for play. Now we're working on a very interesting, very cool, very unique piece of technology that will allow you as a player to pay the game off as you're playing it, right? So what that means is, if you don't have a whole heap of spare cash lying around because you just bought Call of Duty, but you do want to play a few other indie games and stuff, you load your pixel points, you load your account, and then you can play games. You can play 10%, 20%, 30% of a game, and then you switch off for a moment. All you get charged for is the amount of that game that you've played. So that's the whole point. The whole point is being able to make sure that people have access in a fair way, in a fair transaction, so indie devs get paid for the art that they're creating, but to help people actually spread their load a little bit and go, I'm going to try a little bit of this, and I'm going to try a little bit of that, I'm going to try a little bit of that, and it's not going to hurt their hip pocket all too much. They're still going to be able to grab those games. So that technology is going to be really cool. I can't wait for that to be released. We'll have all the other stuff as well, all the usual stuff you come to expect from anything online, but and I just saw like Nurse Page, for example. What a great opportunity for a variety streamer. Variety streamers I very much have in mind for this particular platform. This is a platform where as a variety streamer, you're going to be able to load your account and, because you are a variety streamer and you play a different game every stream, the whole point is, you're not going to have to pay full price for that game and then you never play it again because you're on to the next thing next week. You can just go, okay, this is the one I'm playing tonight. And then next week you play the next one. And then the following week you play the next one. So, I think it's going to be really handy for variety streamers.
A good variety streamer, not here, Shanks. He must be somewhere else, mate. Where are you hanging out? Liam in chat wants to know, is this ANZ exclusive or is it worldwide?
The content is ANZ exclusive. So
can someone from the UK join up?
Yes, you can join up as a
Okay.
player. All
Okay,
right,
so you can join as the player, but the studios and games will be Australian, New Zealand based.
That is correct. So
Okay, so there you go.
The reason why we're doing that now, at some point down the track, and this is big picture thinking,
Mm.
we're going to go to the UK and get games. We're going to go to the US, get games, Europe, get games, and have all these amazing pockets regionally where people get the opportunity to show off their art. But the place we're going to start it is here in Australia. Obviously, an Australian. I want to see Australians get their games played. I want to take Australian games to the world. But the other point, which is really important, is we want to make sure that we actually get this right before we take it to the rest of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got to get right. It's got to play right. Everybody knows that cloud gaming infrastructure is a little bit iffy because we don't have the best underlying infrastructure here in Australia. But the beauty about independently developed games is that they're also not all that heavy load, even though they are amazing creations. So the infrastructure is only going to get better, and we're going to ride that wave up, which is really cool.
I've played. So Liam, yes, you can join up. Liam, you can click on that link. You can register, join up. It's Australia, New Zealand based games, which is fantastic. But you can join up. If you're in America, you can join up as well. All across the world, you can join up and join Three Little Pixels. What I like about it is the fact that we've played a lot of games this year. I say we, but me. We played a lot of games this year where I love indie games, so I try and play them very regularly, and I do. And I'll be like a couple of hours into a game, and someone in chat or someone will say, "Oh, it's an Aussie studio." I'm like, "What?" Like, you don't even know they're an Aussie studio. Like, we were playing. I knew Wild Flowers was, but we were playing Wild Flowers, which is an Aussie studio, which is Studio Dry Dock. Playing Dinkum, like I said, going back to Dinkum, I saw the early access of that. I saw it, I loved it because it just looked exactly like a game that I was going to enjoy. You can make, pavlova fairy bread. You've got the sound of the magpies in the distance. Like we've never had it.
Dinkum. Dinkum's a good cozy game.
Oh, it's so cozy. And I've had my rage with it too, though. I can rage. My superpower, you might not know this, Pete. My superpower is being able to quit the most cozy, wholesome game, rage quit, Alt F4. That's my superpower. Chat knows when it's starting to dial up. They'll say he's starting to turn. They know when it's happening.
Somebody please do me a favor and send me the link to wherever that is, because I would love to see that.
I've rage quit. I rage quit Bear and Breakfast. I rage quit. I've rage quit many games. I rage quit Core Keeper today. I've rage quit so many games. But Dinkum was one of those ones where I was lucky to get a key for that game off James, the dev, and then I was the only one that had access to it. And he said, sure, go ahead and stream it. I went, okay. So I streamed it, and we had 150 people in, and then 20 hours later, I'm still sitting here streaming it nonstop. And then I had a 6-hour break and came back for another 17. So Dinkum, this little Aussie indie game, has been amazing for the channel. We have not had growth like we have in the last 5 months, and that's on the back of Dinkum, basically. So
I'm glad to hear that, mate. And look, you deserve the growth because you're a bloody dedicated and passionate creator, and your stuff is fantastic. You can just see by the work that goes into it. You've got a great community here, Jurdville. It's nice to be amongst the community here. But I mean, Dinkum's a brilliant choice. Dinkum's actually what we used for our what we call our pre-MVP testing. So when we did some closed beta sessions on a real rudimentary piece of equipment a few months ago, to be able to get some testing done, to be able to say, okay, are people are going to enjoy something like this? And when you do what we call pre-MVP testing, like it looks nothing. It's like going out there and finding the bare bones minimum that you can bring together to try and make something that plays a bit like and looks a bit like, but costs you absolutely nothing of what it is that you ultimately want to make. Dinkum's what we used, and the cool thing about it is that a lot of people actually came back to us and went, "Oh my god, what's this game? I've never heard about this game before." Like you're saying as well, Dinkum. The other one that I am fanging for, I'm so looking forward to this game. He was actually the very first indie dev we ever interviewed on the Game on Australia podcast. His name's Craig, and he's from Broken Roads. He's from Drop Bear Studio, and he's creating a game called Broken Roads. And this game is like Fallout like Fallout New Vegas, but for the Outback. It's just credible. It looks incredible. I thoroughly.
I'll find it. Hold on, I'll find it. Keep talking.
Please find it and have a look. But it is a gorgeous looking game, but it is quintessentially Australian. It's got so much Australiana peppered through it. There was one scene there where I saw an old VZS pack Holden Ute, like just sort of that's it. mod_BZ Broken Roads, just sitting all flamed out on the Outback there. If you can find a bit of trailer,
I've got it here. Got it here. Let's see if this works. We're doing a live chat. You know how we do.
Live's the best.
Oh look, it's even in the middle. Oh, this guy's a genius. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Broken Roads. It's a little bit squashed, but that's okay.
What goes up must come down.
Oh, how good's is that? Hold on.
No one ever talks about things going the other way.
Huh? Wow.
The first time you get knocked off your feet, it's hard.
Oh, I love the
Bloody
voiceover.
hard to get back up.
It's good, isn't it?
After a while, you get used to it. You buckle up. You press on. You don't even notice when agony replaces joy
Sounds like Uncle.
or love.
Yeah, and
But there
it
are
is,
some blows
actually.
that cut
It
so
is.
close to
Yes,
the
it
bone
is.
that it takes a while.
Okay, hold on, I'll pause that. It is Uncle.
It is Uncle. Actually, I should have said that. Just being a little bit, just thinking about the any Indigenous viewers at this point in time. But yes, that is Uncle.
There you go, Shanksy. You bang on, mate. You bang on. Here we go. We'll go back.
Well done, Shanksy.
While for the pain to set in. You bleed and you don't see it. Tear and you don't feel it. It takes your brain a good minute to notice you're flawed, and even longer to grasp that this time might be the last.
Cricket bat.
Maybe
Oh.
you're not getting up ever again.
Oh.
But still, you know,
Kangaroo.
there's a whole
Nice looking
wide
kangaroo.
world out there. And as my granddad used to say, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yet. That's Drop Bear Bites at Twitter. There you go. Drop Bear Bites. Drop Bear Bites.
Go and drop in. Say hello to him. Tell him Pete sent you and said hi. Tell him you're from Jurdville. Tell him that you guys all just saw it on Jurdman's Jibber Jabbing podcast. Craig will absolutely love that.
Drop Bear Bites.
He's working very, very hard. He just actually went overseas as part of a cohort of indie devs that were taken to, I can't remember the name of the event that they were taken to, but the Australian government took them over. Took them over with their games to go and show them off to the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this one of the games that's going to be on Three Little Pixels? Or not?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
There you go.
So Craig
Go
and
sign
I,
up.
Yep. Craig and I have known each other for a long time.
Wow.
And when I first had some of the ideas about what Three Little Pixels is going to be, I reached out to Craig and spoke to him about it. He was one of the first indie devs that I did. We do these things called peer reviews where if you've ever got an idea and you want to build a startup or something like that, you got to go out there into the public and you got to go and peer review it first and ask a heap of questions to a lot of people and see if there's actually any interest from anyone. Would they use the product? And I spoke to him about it, and he loved the idea, and we've been friends for a long time. And he was like, "Mate, when you bring it together, let me know, and anything that I can do to help, or if we can bring Broken Roads onto it, that'd be great." And then we cemented those conversations a little bit more, not too far off down the track. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a real honor to have his game on the platform.
Yeah, it looks. That's the first I had ever seen of that. So there you go. I had not seen that before. That looks amazing. The art style looks great. The voiceover is fantastic. So that will be on Three Little Pixels. So ! Pixels. Go click on the links to all the stuff. I saw one that stood out. Now, I don't know if it stood out for you, and I don't know if you guys are going to have it on your platform, but it was called Repeller Fella, which I thought looked fantastic.
Yep.
And looked crazy as shit. And I thought, this is a game that's got Australian written all over it. It's a bit like a Mad Max sort of rural Mad Max fever dream, basically, of a game. But
Very
it's fully
cool.
voice acted too. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, they were wonderful to chat to. They're working very hard on that game, and I didn't get a chance really to play that. Like I blew through the PAX Rising, which is what they call the indie area you're referring to. I blew through that in about 4 hours because I had to get back on a plane that night.
Wow. You were moving because I was there all freaking day. Yeah, you were moving.
I bumped into you while you were live streaming. So you were live streaming doing that and said hello to Jurdville. And how nice of you to be taking Jurdville around PAX, by the way. It's wonderful.
I just wish there was better. It was so choppy. They need better infrastructure down there or something for their Wi-Fi. I don't know.
You can imagine,
everyone's there doing their stuff. So it's just,
everyone's streaming, everyone's
crazy.
going live. It's pretty hardcore to be able to support that many people in one.
I think next year I might film it and then upload it. I think that's probably what I'll do. I love live content is my medium. Like I was going to do Jibber Jabber as a pre-recorded thing, which probably still will end up being a pre-recorded thing. But me and you, this all tied perfectly. But I think next year I'll just pre-record and then just upload the stuff because I think I
love live. I live and breathe live. As a radio broadcaster, you have to. But man, like when you pre-record stuff, you can make it look really slick and really polished. And this is me putting my content head on, my content hat on. And ultimately, if the whole idea is to execute a really polished product, then there's no reason why it should be live. Like you should actually be recording them and putting some really nice filters over them and making sure that they look sharp and they sound great and you do all that sort of stuff because you can just control a lot more in a pre-recorded setting. When it comes to sort of content and stuff, actually a lot of the live things, I'm not really giving anything away here, but a lot of the live things that you hear on radio, a lot of that stuff's pre-recorded. It's just a lot easier.
Oh, surprise Pikachu!
Who's that? Two-Tone Murphy. Subscription. Boom.
Two-Tone, thank you so much, Two-Tone. Thank you so much, you absolute legend. If you are in chat to have a breakaway, if you are in chat, I'm lucky to be part of Subfest. So in an hour and 45 minutes, Subfest starts. Every sub, every bit, every gifted, every prime, all equals XP. I can unlock some cool stuff. I've got an absolute butt ton. That is the technical term, a metric butt ton of prizes to give away. So that starts very, very soon, Subfest. Two-Tone, thank you so much for that resub. I appreciate you greatly, my friend.
How good's a butt ton?
Butt ton, a metric butt ton. Yep. Heaps of giveaways. It sort of speaks to you chatting about the indie devs and trying to, we're pretty lucky our corner of the world because Australia, New Zealand especially, we're very lucky that the fact that we're both obviously countries that are also islands and we're pretty much situated away from everyone else. And we're both pretty cool sort of, layabout, sort of countries as well. We're very lucky here, and especially in the industry as well. Like, I started reaching out to people. I tend to try and keep good I strive to keep good relationships with a lot of the industry companies and publishers and devs and everything. But I sent out emails like the end of last week saying I'm part of Subfest. Is there anything you can do to help, build some hype and stuff? And the amount of people that have come back and gone above and beyond is a real testament to the Australian gaming industry and the amount of awesome people that are in it. So
I'm not surprised to hear that because it's, this is one of those great it's one of those great opportunities to put forth a life lesson with it's also important never to burn your bridges because the Australian industry when it comes to content creators and it comes to indie devs and it comes to just general, the general sort of punters that are across and a part of our industry is a very small industry. There's a lot of people, but it's also a very small industry. And, you tend to find like, put it this way, it's small enough that you can get to know them really well over a long time. So like I coming to PAX this year, was a real watershed moment for me because it over the course of like all the COVID and the pandemic and stuff like that, where we all, especially the streamers who have been plying our trade on streaming and stuff like that, and on Twitter and all that, like we all just did just a lot more of what it is that we're good at, and that is sort of getting to know other people that are online and networking. And then it's not until you get to PAX that you actually realize just how many people you know, right? Like just how many people you know, how many people you speak to. But then beyond that, how many of those people are actually involved in the industry? And yeah, like there's a lot of support for Australian creators and Australian indie devs and stuff from Australian people, because I think that's something that's very important about this industry. Like there's a lot of us, but we're also so small that we want everybody else to rise, and it's always so important to know that it's really important to support each other, especially in Australia, because we need to band together to be strong enough to take on a global market. Like it's as simple as you got America, you got 400 million people in America. Asia, you've got billions. You know, in Europe, it's the same. Like there's that many of them over there. To actually have a really big voice globally, to get over to the UK, to the US, to break through, to cut through, Australians need to stick together. They need to support each other. They need to help each other. So yeah, it's very comforting and very warming. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised to hear people getting around you and supporting you, mate, because you do good work.
Oh, I appreciate that. Content has been a revelation for me, like 2.5 years ago when I started in March at the start of pandemic. So like at the very start of it. So we had a lot of people at home looking for some sort of connection, and it's a lot of the older people don't sort of get content, like get what we're doing here, get podcasts, get any of that. They don't get it. Yeah. But I explain it to, it's like a pub, sit around at a pub with your mates, but you're doing it online. And one of the people is happening to do a crossword that is a video game. Like, you know, like you sit in the pub going, what's 9 down or whatever. Not that people do that, but you know what I mean? Like it's a
really great way of putting it, man. Like this, you know, it is very much the pub vibe where you're all just sort of hanging out, but how nice that the pub is a bloody big pub, you know?
Yeah. What I mean? Yeah. No, it's been amazing. And I said that there was a moment where I was on Twitch one night and there was no Australians here, and it was all like UK crew, all American crew, and everyone that I had met over my time on Twitch. And it was just an amazing moment for me. I'm like, these are people that I've met purely on here and know me purely based on what I've been doing on here, and they're choosing to stay. They come in for one game. They might come in for an indie game that I play, and then they hang around. Like, I think Nurse Page came in for Dinkum, and now Nurse Page has been here 5-6 months, and he's a mod and he's editing stuff for my TikTok and stuff. Like, it's just amazing that there's some amazing people out there, and we've built a really good community here. And I think in life, like online and in the online space, surround yourself with people that you want to be around. Don't surround yourself by people that make you feel uncomfortable, and don't be afraid to say, look, you're not part of our vibe. I'm sorry, you're not. Chill out or go. We've done that many times.
Chill out, or quintessentially an Australian banana, bugger off.
We've got a button on the stream deck for that, actually. It's get the fuck out of here, and it's my voice recorded. So I've got a button on stream deck that is my voice saying get the fuck out of here. So
out of here.
Which is how much effort I put into it. I just hit a button and I don't even have to say it. There you go. They're out.
Hey, my dear friend,
yes.
while we're just talking about Three Little Pixels, you want to see what it looks like?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. What are we doing?
Now, let me see if this works.
Okay.
You seeing it come across your screen? Is it there?
Let me have a look. No, and if you add another source to that, it's going to stuff your camera, but go for it.
It's going to cook me. It's going to absolutely cook me. All right, let me do something here, right? So,
okay, you do what you're going to do. Chad doesn't realize that before we started here, he was flickering like a mofo.
Yeah, it was bad.
He had no video, no voice.
It was so bad. Hang on, Jurdman. I'm going to send you something in your DMs.
Okay, do that. Yeah, slide in.
So, there you go. I've slid.
Okay, cool. Love a slide.
It's all good. I used lube. It's fine. So if you can...
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, let me. Theatre Restaurant of the Mind. I'm going to punch that in manually because
frozen.
I'm on.
Pop.
You're frozen.
Frozen. Hang on, let me do something here.
No, you do what you're going to do, and I'll.
Let me stop streaming, then I'll start streaming again.
Okay. You'll do that while I punch in this website.
No, I've done the thing.
I don't know if it's working. We do it live. We don't care. We're no stress. We're no stress. We'll
as long as people
fix
can see the moustache, that's all I'm worried about.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry.
Hey, pre-record.
Yeah, that's it. Do. I love punching in a really long address manually. I love it.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's because I haven't got Discord on the gaming PC, and that's what I'm using to capture at the moment.
Worth it. You'll love it.
Okay,
pretty cool.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Because we didn't get. I logged onto the website, and I'm going to be honest. I'm like, okay, I've logged in, and there's nothing on the website.
There's nothing.
There's nothing on the website. So don't be shocked. Okay, you're still frozen. Why are you still frozen?
I don't know why I'm still frozen. I just like let it go.
Yeah, why are you still frozen?
I don't know why I'm still frozen. Let me just do one more time. Stop streaming, and then I'll share my screen again. I'll turn on my camera, and then I'll turn off my camera. Oh, poor.
Oh, hold on. Maybe the stream has. Oh, okay. Hold on. All right, we'll see if we can get this working. We'll see if we can get it working. Wait for him to come back. I have got the website up though. Looks pretty cool.
Baby, come back.
I do have some access to SingStar, but Let's Sing, by the way, chat. So there's going to be karaoke night coming up. Just saying.
You bloody wonderful human being. All right, let's see if this works.
Okay, let's have a look.
There, and I'm going live again.
Oh, okay. Yes, we got you. Perfect. Okay, cool. Sick. And I've got your website up as well.
Nice to be back. Sorry, everybody.
Amazing. He's back, everybody. He's back. I'm just going to increase the... Okay, let's increase that a little bit, and let's see if the Theatre Restaurant of the Mind, if this works, this will be really good. Okay, there it is. Now I can also let me copy that.
Look at
let
that.
Let me paste that up there.
So yeah, if you go to register.threelittlepixels.com, this is not what you're going to see. Okay, all you're going to see at register.threelittlepixels.com is
okay, this is behind the curtain.
Yes, so this is very much behind the curtain, and very, very much behind the curtain. So that's nice right there. That's good. What you've done there is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to take you through the website. So this is iteration 1 of 3 Little Pixels. So across the top there, you can see your menus and such, and you'll figure that stuff out. Yes, you can change your profile pic on this site. So when you go to register.threelittlepixels.com, at the moment, it's a very, very basic site. It's just basically collecting details. That's all that's doing. This is actually what you're going to be using once we launch the private betas. So you can change your name, you can change your display pic. You'll see across the top there, those are your jump back ins. All right. So those are games that you're currently playing, you're progressing through.
Yeah. Cool.
And then underneath that, you'll see the recently added. So any new games that we actually pop up, you'll be able to see them and launch them. If you click see more on one of those, we can come back to this screen.
Okay.
But if you click see more, then what it's going to do is it's going to take you to another screen, and you're going to be able to see all of the information. You're going to be able to see trailers. You can launch the game. You're going to have links to the developer. You're going to have all sorts of really cool stuff, and then it'll have some suggestions of other things. If you could please go back to the page that you were just at, that would be really cool, because I've got my absolute 100% favorite thing to show you as we scroll down. So you'll scroll down and you'll see categories. And they're just your pretty sort of standard categories, you know.
Oh, look at this. Sorry. Games by state, I've just gone, whoa.
This is my favorite thing. As a thing where I had a dream for this to be wholeheartedly about Australian content, This is my favorite thing. This is a thing where if you're a Victorian, you'll be able to click on the Victorian icon and it'll take you to a playlist full of Victorian games. Same with Western Australia, New South Wales, so on and so forth. As you can see, it's not populating at this particular point in time because this is an early iteration. This is still in build.
Yeah.
If you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see most popular. That'll be sort of community minded. And then across to the top, go to the top right-hand side where you've got the display picture.
Yep.
And you'll be able to open that up, and I'll just wait for you to open the 3 lines, bring up the menu there.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to have to move that over. Hold on.
Okay, so what you've actually popped up at this particular point in time, actually, I'm just going to wait for myself to catch up on stream, see where it is. Okay, cool. So over on the right-hand side, you'll have games, you'll have your library, account, profile, and support. What you can see right now is your profile, where you can edit your display picture and such. You'll have your name, you'll have your gamer tag, date of birth. We will also have social links. So a lot of these games will obviously have achievements, and we want you to shout out loud that you're playing these games and you're earning these achievements. So you can auto post those achievements by linking your social media accounts. And as soon as you hit an achievement in a game, then it will auto post that to your accounts, and you can.
Oh.
If you go back to the menu again, Mr. Jurdman, and bring that up. It's very, very simple, very easy. You're on profile right now. If you go to account, is probably the only other real important thing to show you right at this particular point in time. This is where you'll be able to sort out all your pixel points and everything. So you'll have pixel points. You'll be able to top up your balance. You can manage a subscription if you want to just keep things recurring. And you'll be able to manage your payments, add cards, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, we're keeping it very, very simple.
What is the subscription model? Is it monthly? Is it
a monthly? Yep. At this stage,
it's a monthly. So $10 a month at the moment is what the.
We haven't
decided subject to change.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's subject to change. The whole point of that is just to show you what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. People might ask, why is subscription and even though you've got pixel points and stuff, the whole point is this platform needs to sustain independent developers, and to do that, we need to make sure that people who are coming onto the platform, if they're going to start playing games in the way that we want to, where they're paying those games off as they play them, the money has to be there. So that's a way of managing that and ensuring that, and that way we know that indie devs can get paid. But yes,
basically, Pete's doing Spotify for indie games. This is how it's working. You subscribe to the service. As you play the games, the indie guys get their cut of that. Is that correct?
That's exactly right.
There you go. Bang, easy.
Bang, you nailed it in one. So
can I also, before we continue, can I get the last 3 numbers off the back of your credit card just before we? No, okay, worth a shot.
I wonder whose credit card that is actually.
No, I think it's a fake. A 4321.
No,
it's got to be. It's got to be fake. Surely.
So as you can see, the design of the platform is very simple, and there's a very good reason for that, and that is because this is going to be web-based. You'll be able to log into it on your PC, you'll be able to log into it on your tablet and on your mobile, but it's got to be very, very light touch. So it works very well because you'll obviously be streaming games. So there you go. That's a little tour, something that I haven't shown many people. So you're welcome, Jurdville, and thank you.
There you go. World premiere.
World premiere.
There you go. Very cool.
Pixels looks like.
Well, that's good because when I logged on, I don't know what to expect when I logged on, and I'm like, okay, and then I kept clicking stuff to see if I was doing something wrong, and then I'm like, that guy kind of looks like me, but I can't change his photo. But there you go. That's awesome to see under the hood of what's going to happen. So when you launch these, is this like through your? Do you play it through your browser? Is that how you play it? How do you play it through your browser?
To begin with, you will play it through your browser, and obviously at some point we'll have an application that'll be able to sit on your desktop. But for the time being, it's going to play through your browser. And the preliminary tests that have been coming back from my developers, all is going very, very well.
Okay, here's a curly question for you, which might be a bit early. If I was to say load up Edge on my Xbox and log on to the website. In theory, could I play the web-based browser on my Xbox?
In theory.
Okay.
In theory, because at the end of the day, like as long as you've got a browser, you'll be able to play it.
Okay.
So yeah, in theory, you could do that. Do I recommend it? No.
No.
Because I have a lot of trouble using the web browser on Xbox.
There's some potential there. I go to watch F1. I watch KO on the Xbox. So there's no app, so I have to use Edge, and I have to. It disconnects. It disconnects like every 15 minutes. I've got to hit refresh. It's a pain in the ass.
Sorry. It's terrible.
we have no affiliation to Edge. We're fine.
Yeah. So yeah. No, it's you would reasonably and feasibly be able to do it because you can access it's just all via browser. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll be very interested to see if that works and how that works.
Hey, Fury 7, how you doing, buddy? What's going on, mate? PSP browser it is then. There you go.
Yeah, mate, rock and roll. Rock and
there
roll.
It is. Yeah, that's it.
Great legend.
I did once. Oh no, I can't. What I did was a bit dodgy. I can't really say it. I was playing a game. I was playing a game on my phone, mobile phone. That may have been. Yeah. Anyway, I was playing a game on my mobile phone, and then I linked a mini HDMI to my TV, and then used my PlayStation controller as Bluetooth to my phone. So I was playing a game that was on my phone, on my TV with a PlayStation controller. I'm MacGyvered it.
All I hear is genius. There's nothing illegal going on there. At the end of the day, if it works, if the tech works, it means it was meant to happen. So I just hear genius. Don't even worry about it.
I didn't make any admissions. My lawyers come into chat. I didn't say anything illegal. Mrs. J, it's fine. It's okay.
Just going to PAX for a moment and going back to PAX Rising. I was blown away by the sheer volume of really good content. Like, you know how you could go to like a PAX Rising event and stuff, and you'd think that there'd be a little bit of shovelware. I was blown away at just how much incredible stuff there really genuinely was, and it was everywhere. But the obviously the one that stood out to me, and I want to make mention of these guys because I think they just knocked over another pretty major award in the last 24 hours. I'm going to have to double check, but it's
all right, you tell me what it is.
Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of the Lamb. Do we need your website anymore?
No, mate, you can.
Okay.
You go.
Sick. Okay, cool. Cult of the Lamb. We did play Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of the Lamb knocked over another bloody.
They won heaps. They won heaps of stuff.
Something happened today. Something happened.
Hey, Dido, thank you for the follow, Dido. How you doing? Where are we?
Best Indie at Golden Joystick Awards. There you go.
Oh, I love a golden joystick.
Yeah. Don't we all? The Golden Joystick Awards, Cult of the Lamb, and it was amazing to see them there at PAX Rising, considering that they're a million game sale. Like they should not have been in amongst PAX Rising. But what I love so much about the fact that they were was just what a great opportunity to showcase the potential of being an independent developer.
I think this is another one of those ones that I was shocked to find out was an Aussie indie dev. This is another one of those ones that I was probably trying to think of before.
There's another one that's coming out. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer, and I'm fanging for this one because it's out of Brisbane, and Brisbane actually do like a lot of people say that Victoria's the mecca of indie devs. And yes, it is. They've got an incredible support
Victoria's the mecca of everything if you ask a Victorian.
Yeah, that's true. Football, don't even get me started. And then South Australia's got a good support program. The government's very, very good there at supporting indie devs in the industry there. But the thing that's very interesting is that Brisbane is a mecca in its own right. And it's very underappreciated what's coming out of Brisbane. But there's a studio, and I don't know if you've seen the trailer to this one, and I have to find this bloody game because I can't remember what it's called, but it's an indie game and it starts in a kid's bedroom and it goes down to a book and you flick through
Yes, we Lost in Play. Lost in Play. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
Lost in Play? Is that
It'll be one of my games of the year. Yeah,
Hang
Lost
on,
in Play.
Lost in
Lost-
Play?
Nurse Page said that before. I'm pretty sure it's Lost in Play. The art style is fantastic. You could get in. Is it Lost in Play?
No, it's not Lost in Play.
Oh well, Lost in Play was great. That was a great indie game. That was so good. I've never climbed inside the belly of a whale before and then tooted out its butthole. That was the first.
That sounds amazing.
It's a regular Friday night.
Lost in Play.
That was
I've never heard
great.
Lost in Play before. And this game isn't playable. There's not even a bloody demo out of it. It's just a trailer.
What's that?
This game that I'm talking about.
Oh. Another game that came out of an indie game that is coming out of Queensland, Brisbane is I've played it very early ages ago called Lens Island, which is a survival farming sort of game as well. Pretty brutal in the dungeons, but Lens Island is another great indie game that is out, but it hasn't had final release yet.
Lens
Island's really good too.
Lens Island is a missed opportunity for an island where Lens Steal My Sunshine plays on repeat.
Obscure.
You know that song? Surely you know that song.
Steal my sunshine.
There he is. Yeah, no,
Yeah, of course.
I'm very obscure. My references are very obscure.
Yeah, that's it. That is specific. It's a real big setup for the joke, Mrs. J, but it's worth it.
There's a lot. No, it was a little bit too far. As I was telling the joke, I could tell that it was a bridge too far.
It's fine.
Come on, where is it? I want to find this game for you, man, because
we have one of our favorite, speaking of indie games where you sort that out, one of my favorite, we do all the E3 conferences that haven't been E3 conferences. We do all that stuff. We're doing the Game Awards when it comes up later in the year as well. Oh, well, not later in the year. It comes up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The Wholesome Direct is one of my favorite conferences at E3 because you see all the lovely, wholesome indie games. And also Day of the Devs, which is the first time I've ever tuned in. It was their 10th anniversary. It's the first time I've ever tuned into Day of the Devs. Both of those conferences presentations were fantastic, and the guy that's in charge of Double Fine Studios, who did Psychonauts among other things, he's tied up with I think he created Day of the Devs. Fantastic.
Yeah. Amazing. Man, Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2 is one of my all-time favorites. If anybody in here in Jurdville has not played that game or those games, get along and play those bloody games.
The art style in I didn't play number 1, but the art style in number 2, that level with the teeth and with the Is this game, Jurdman? Oh, I can't see the link, Fury. I can't see the link, mate.
What's so incredible about that game is just the way that they created this game built around mental health, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way that they linked all of the monsters and the enemies and such back to things like doubt and fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
They had there was the one that they had, and it was like gambling addiction and stuff too, which was No, that's me. I can't minimize the screen because it freezes Pete, so I'm not going to minimize that. I'm just going to put it behind the other thing.
Oh, Pete, did somebody say?
No, you're fine. You're good. You're good now. Don't worry.
No, I'm not frozen. I'm just like I'm looking down at a screen and I'm just stuck looking at this screen.
Oh, the Plucky Squire was one that Is that the one, Pete? You've got you're back. You've gone quiet. Oh, okay. Is that it?
One. It's the Plucky Squire.
Now, Plucky Squire. Is that coming to your platform? Please say yes. You don't know?
Oh my God. No, I got to talk to those guys. I have to talk to them. But this is the thing, right? And now this is how this works. So this is how the industry works. This is how building a platform works.
Let's find the trailer. Let me show the trailer. This is one of the standouts because I chat to Doug. I chat to Doug from Power Up, and he said to me, Power Up PR. He said to me before they handle Devolver Digital, which also do amazing indie games. He said in an email, all he said was, "I have one word, Plucky," and I'm like, okay. And then because that's all he could tell me, like he probably wasn't even allowed to tell me that. When when that trailer started, I'm like, what the hell is this game? And that was the game, Plucky Squire.
Yeah, man. Plucky Squire.
I am like so keen for that game.
Oh, me too. It just leapt out of the screen to me. There's just so much about that game. It draws. I feel like that's going to be a game that's going to take off because it appears to draw upon so much nostalgic shit. Like,
Yes.
it looks like it's amalgamating and bringing together so much of the gameplay styles that we loved and grew up with as kids.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look. Plucky Squire.
Once upon a time, there was a plucky squire named Jot. Jot roamed the land in search of adventure, battling beasts, helping the helpless, and generally being very heroic. But then one day he discovered something rather curious. A world he never knew existed.
Oh, I've gone back early. It's still going. It's still going, chat. PluckySquire.com. Now, that is one of those. Games that when I saw it at the conference, I lost my collective shit. Yeah, because it just looks so good. And I think there's a few people in chat, Nurse Page, who hasn't seen that before.
Yeah,
I did not realize that was an Aussie dev. That is ridiculous.
That's a Brisbane dev. So you can see that it draws on things like Jetpack Joyride from Half Brick Studios, which is another Aussie dev out of Brisbane. It draws on clearly Legend of Zelda. And the most recent Nintendo Switch release, which it escapes my mind what it is, but the art design is that-esque, and it's wonderful. That in itself was a re-release or a remake of one of the original Nintendo Entertainment System Legend of Zeldas, I think, either that or on the Game Boy. It also has it looks very Cuphead-esque. Any old school Nintendo Entertainment System players here will remember a game called Punch-Out. So if you saw when he was boxing on, that's Punch-Out. As soon as I saw that, I was hooked, and then everything else came along with it, So, very, very cool looking. Very cool.
Yeah, that's one that immediately was on my radar. And yes, Beezy, we were playing the absolute hell out of that game when it comes out. That game, the art style is fantastic. The gameplay, I love indie guys that they can afford to innovate a bit more because they sort of need to get noticed a bit more than that. It's not the same factory of churning out shit after shit every year, same release, just rebadged every year. FIFA. So they need to innovate. And that the gameplay mechanics there look fantastic.
Yeah, and this is why I want to support them so much, mate. Because that is where the new ideas will consistently come from. With respect to AAA games and studios, they've got crunch, they've got massive teams, they've got deadlines, they've got shareholders, they've got boards of directors, they've got money they need to make. They have got all of the things that generally lead them to let's do a remake or let's do a rehash or let's re-release in a generation or next generation. Christ, we've had Grand Theft Auto 5 for 10 years. We've had Grand Theft Auto 5 for 10 years. And it's great. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. And the reason why it's been around so long is because they have innovated within that game. But the place that we need to nurture and we need to support and make sure that they are supported and they have careers that they can build is the independent games industry, because that is where the new ideas get to come from.
And you look at something like movies, like we have independent cinema, and even people directors that get to start on like music videos and stuff. The people that are doing independent school projects and doing independent movies and short form content, if they're good at their craft, they end up doing like you see them. They end up doing motion, like full on motion pictures. That's where they go. So at a
100%.
grassroots level, it's good to be able to highlight and nurture these devs that are coming through, because they're going to be they may end up being the next big thing. Like, you don't know.
Well, I mean, Cult of the Lamb's perfect example. Cult of the Lamb's perfect example. Like that, had every opportunity to not be the next best thing, became the next best thing. Now, my friend, it's over here in the West, it's 10 to 8, and I'm a breakfast radio announcer. So
before you go,
yes,
this is a nostalgic podcast. What I've got to ask you the question before we go.
Okay,
I'm not
go.
letting you. You're not wrapping up. What is your earliest gaming memory and your fondest gaming memory growing up?
Okay, so my earliest gaming memory, so I'm going to take, this is going to take you back a long way, long way. My earliest gaming memory was at mum and dad's house in the front living room. Dad had bought a Nintendo Entertainment System. We were playing Super Mario Brothers, the first one, and he had his mates over, and I walked in. I think I was like 5 or 6, and I walked in and asked for a turn, and all of his mates were like, "Yeah, give him a turn, give him a turn, give him a turn." And Dad said, "No." This is a no. This is a good reason for it.
Okay.
This is a you die, you're out, you hand the controller over to the next person. He said, "Trust me, put him last, because when he gets on this thing, if it's die and you're out, hand the controller, we're not getting him off." And sure enough, mate, I it got through half a dozen of his mates, got to me, and an hour later I was still there. So I was born to play video games. It was my
Love it.
My fondest video game memory. I have a few, but I'll bring it down to 3. The first one was Christmas morning and walking out into the backyard because Santa had left a bike for my brother, but not for me. And I was walking behind my brother and mum and dad, walked to the shed, that's where the bike was, and turned around, and up against the wall, leaning up against the wall, was a rectangular box about yay big. So it's about, across my chest, right? Small rectangular box, and I ripped it open, and it was the Tetris DMG 001 Game Boy. For Christmas, and I still have that. Still have that Game Boy. And I still have the box, and I still have Tetris.
Wow. Jesus.
In fact, you know what?
It's crazy.
It might be here. Okay, it might actually be here, because I'm at the factory. I'm at the Goa factory at the moment, where we've got our studio and everything, and I've got a whole heap of my collectibles here, but it might be here. I might just quickly run over in a tick. The other one was Nintendo 64, and it was fighting Whiz-Pig and Diddy Kong Racing. Now, for anybody who doesn't get that reference, like, Google Diddy Kong Racing and Google Whiz-Pig and like Epic Boss Battle or whatever it happens to be. And this was the ultimate boss battle, right? So, like, you had done all the races, you'd collected all the balloons, you'd found all the secrets, everything like that. God, we had it good, by the way, can I just say, when it comes to collectibles and secrets and all that sort of shit, unlockables in games and whatnot, because you couldn't download everything, they had to pack everything into the cartridge, right? So there was always so much shit to unlock, and it was amazing, right? But the end game, the ultimate end game, once you got all through this and you beat Whiz-Pig the first time, was you got to come back and you got to battle him in ultra hard mode. I spent an entire day battling Whiz-Pig in ultra hard mode, man. And when I finally beat him, it must have taken me 150 races. I'm not joking, because you had to be sharp. You had to get every corner right. You had to get every bloody accelerator and brake and skid and all that sort of shit perfect. And I finally beat him. And mum and dad ran into the room because they heard me screaming. Like that. That's how much that meant to me, right? So that's number 2. And number 3, and again, it's a Nintendo 64 memory. But it is the moment where Epona jumps over the Gerudo Valley Canyon in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. There's just something about that moment. I don't know what it is, but I remember the room I was in. I remember the day. I remember just everything about it. I remember the feeling. It's the guitar as well, the Gypsy Kings. It's a Gypsy Kings riff.
I love a bit of Gypsy Kings.
Oh, mate, it's just there's everything about it, and I listen to that song. I still listen to that song to this very day. So yeah, those are three. Give me 2 seconds. Just
All
chat.
right.
Let me have a look in one of my boxes. It might be here. Hang on a sec.
Okay. My first gaming memory is playing Decathlon. Well, actually, no. My first gaming memory is trying to hack Leisure Suit Larry, being very young at one of our parents' friends' place, trying to answer questions about US presidents when we were way too young to try and play Leisure Suit Larry. I also used to go over to the neighbor's house and play, I think it was Space Quest, the old text-based stand-up, enter, jump, enter. I think it was Space Quest. But my fondest memory was playing Decathlon on the old school Atari 2600, the wood-grained Atari, playing Decathlon, playing Pitfall, playing Decathlon with the family. Like there was a the last event on the Decathlon was the 5,000 meters. And what we were so stupid. We used to sit on the floor and we'd had like a little plastic chair. We'd suction cap the joystick to, and we'd go flat stick for the 5,000 meters. We didn't realize that you could go as slow as you wanted with the joystick. You could go really slow with the joystick until the last 100 meters where you'd go flat stick for the sprint. So we were doing 5,000 meters, smashing this Atari joystick nonstop. By the time the race was over, we were ready to pass out. We learnt lesson the hard way with that. I've got the Atari Lego. I've got to build it. Now, what's Pete got? What have we got here? We spy boxes.
Okay, there's a lot of boxes. I brought some stuff over.
Fury 7, Noel in chat is just salivating. Noel's just going, give me the boxes. I need the boxes. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Okay, so there it is. That's the original
Wow.
001 Game Boy Tetris I got for Christmas. The box looks really good still. A lot of people who had this will have gotten foam. Here's how you can tell this is a proper Ridgy-Dig Australian original version, because you've got the cardboard insert, right? So there you can see, oh God, it's still got the original cables. It's
still got plastic on it? You still got the plastic on it?
Yeah, it's still got the plastic on some of the stuff because I never took them out.
It's like Grandma's Lounge.
Yeah, mate. So that's the original Game Boy headphones that came with it.
Wow.
This plastic is fresh plastic. It's not like
okay.
That's fresh plastic, but that's the original Game Boy, and yes, it still works.
That's crazy.
Tetris and everything like that. So that's that. But I'm just going to take you through my. These are a few of my favorite things. So all of this stuff is all original shit. This is all my original shit. So that's my original Game Boy Color, and that's the original box, and the original Game Boy Color is still in there.
That's crazy.
See, $129.95 from EB Games. Like
wow,
all the way back to there.
Was it Games Wizards? Do you have Games Wizards over there?
No, we don't have Games Wizards over here.
Oh, Games Wizards became EB, basically, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. Wow. No, we had EB. And we had a couple of others, but EB was the... there's Lilac Wars in 64. That's my original. Donkey Kong 64, that's the yellow cartridge, by the way.
Ooh.
This one here, Bomberman 64, and it's still got the $59.95 David Jones tag on it as well.
Oh, David Jones. Fancy boy over there, juices.
F-Zero X is this is my original copy of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and the box is still in mint condition.
Oh my God.
This is a very underrated, not very well known, but very incredible game that people should go and find. It's called Blast Corps. Did you ever play this?
Never played Blast Corps. No.
Mate, Blast Corps is one of the greatest games to have ever appeared on the Nintendo 64, and I hope to
Okay.
Christ one day they do a remake of it. This was when Rare was at their peak. This was like 90s Rare. This was a bloody good game, and it went on forever. The amount of unlockables in this game, and it still holds up to today. It's still really, really good. There's my old Diddy Kong Racing. That's my original Super Mario 64. Still minty.
Crazy.
And this is one of my favorites. That's my original Pokemon Blue.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So it I was very anal as a kid about keeping these in really good condition, and I'm glad that I did, because I'm so thankful. And it's not for what they're worth, because they are worth money. They're worth good money. I'll never part with them. I'll never sell them. I'll hand them down to my kids, and I'll make them understand that it's really important that they take care of them. Because I mean, for me as a gamer, this is history. I think for the world, this is art. And it just means so much more to me than money ever could.
Crazy.
And those boxes, whenever I see them, it immediately brings back memories and stories, and that's the most important thing I feel we've got.
Mrs. J wants to know, who is my lovely, supportive wife. She wants to know, when did you decide to start keeping that when did you start to decide to keep them as a kid? Like, when did you think, I'm going to keep these?
I don't really know. I don't think it was ever really like an active, I'm going to keep these. I'm just going to keep them. Like, it was just more of a case of I was quite just meticulous about this sort of stuff because I loved it that much. I guess, like anything, if you love it that much, you're probably quite meticulous about it. I think just like for me, whenever I would put them away, I'd just put them away nice and neat. I never kept DVDs that way. I never kept albums that way and CDs that way. There's a lot of shit that I just, as a kid, destroyed. Some reason, I would put these in the cupboard after I'd use them, and I guess even back then, that's just how much they meant to me. So yeah.
Crazy. Shocker. I never owned a Game Boy ever.
Oh mate,
never.
I
had a Sega. We grew up like Sega. Like back in the day, you had to pick a console. Nowadays, you don't. Console war, like, you can buy whatever you want. Who cares? But back in the day, when your mother was buying you, or your father was buying you something, you had to decide what are you deciding to get?
Yeah.
And so we always had Sega. We had the Master System. We had the Mega Drive. I got myself a Game Gear because it was color. I was like, whoa, and it can tune in the TV with it.
Yeah.
And you could plug in the proper Sega. You could plug in the cartridges into the little thing in that. It was great. 10 minutes battery life. It was fantastic.
Oh, how good is it though? Like, I mean, seriously, man, we came up through a pretty incredible time. Like the way that you talk about, you had to pick one or the other. You know what I mean? Like, I think about my kids now, and like, we don't spoil them or anything, but toys and games and stuff are still at the price that they were in the 90s, and yet our incomes have increased, right? Our disposable income as a society has increased, right? So, like, it's easier for them to get their Barbie toy or a cheeky game or something like that, because you can pick them up. This is quite cheap, right? So,
well, my mother got me. I love a sport game. I love sport games. Love them. Pete Sampras tennis on PlayStation 1.
Oh my God.
$110.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yep.
$110. Great game though. Great game.
Bomberman here. That was $60. I still remember. That's the thing. I still remember games, being between $60 and $100. I'm sure. I am absolutely 100% sure that my Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was $100. I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Which is why you went to the video shop to hire him.
Well, exactly. That, and that was the thing. Like, that was our Friday night, wasn't it? Like, our Friday night was, you didn't just go buy this shit because you could. Like, our Friday night was, we weren't just allowed to buy a game every week. It was
No.
you go to the video store, and it wasn't even like a Blockbuster chain or anything like that. It was the mom and pop video store that was run out of a shack next to a bloody, for us over here, if there's any West Australians watching this, it was next to Hambley's Bilo in a place called Queen's Park.
Bilo.
Right? Yeah. And this is the thing, right? Like, and we would go, the dude, the dude was a raggedy old dude who just fucking loved selling VHS movies, and there was the blue movie section in the back.
Yeah, you had that behind the curtain.
You weren't allowed to go behind the curtain, mate. You weren't allowed. And, like if you get caught, you had a clip across the ears, and you'd, if dad had a good week, and he was in a really good mood, dad was never in a bad mood, but like if he was in a really good week, really vibing, he'd spring a couple of bucks extra, and you'd be able to get 2 new releases instead of just 1, like that. You know what, kids, it's been a good week. We're going to have a good weekend. You can start up a little bit later this week. Pick yourself 3 weeklies instead of 2, and grab a couple of new releases while you're at it. Like that was the thing for us. And it was just, man, going. We
hired Golf Mania so often from the video shop, they just gave it to us.
Yeah. And that was that.
We hired it out like 2 months in a row. They said just have the game.
Doesn't that just tell you about what it was like back then too, though? Like you wouldn't get that. You would not get that sort of service because it's not mum and pop that are running those stores anymore, and you're getting to know them. They're chains now, and it's got nothing to do with the fact that it's like young kids running them or anything like that. It's just it's all run differently, and they're run as chains. So once upon a time, you were getting to know the people behind the counter, and they were there through everything. They were there through your ups and your downs, and your parents changing work, and you going through school, and like it was the same video guy who owned the video store from the time we were like in year 1 to the time we were in high school. Like like we got to know them really bloody well. Dad won a Weber barbecue off him once, and that thing fucking sat up in the back of the shed for 50 years. Like that, it's those sorts of stories, man. And then getting together with me mates and hiring out Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and spending the entire night just whipping around, learning this game, and then trying to beat each other. Spending the whole night after hiring out Mario Kart 64, and spending most of the night trying to get over the fucking first wall to your left-hand side to do the cheat in Wario Stadium. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. You can't. We were lucky. We were so incredibly lucky. So much of that now is either it's hard to explain. So much of it now, I think, is gamatized and commoditized, if that is even a word. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or it's such a commodity now, where it's all really about, can you do it and then put it up online and then see how many likes you get and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's almost expected. I feel like the secrets that we found in games and the way that we were allowed to play games as kids, because there was no internet and there was no YouTube and stuff like that. The only way you could ever find out about it was at school the following day. And by that stage, everybody had a chance to play, and it was really exciting getting to school to talk to everybody about it. And you had to wait. I think that was the most important thing.
Well, you almost had to wait, unless you were me, who used to beg your parents to bring 1902 number to get the cheat for the game. And old mate on the other end would be there with a book going, okay, what did you need help with again? Oh, okay, yes, all right, okay.
Nintendo helpline. You'd get Nintendo magazine, and at the end there was a Nintendo helpline. I remember reading Nintendo magazine. This was gold, right? So me and my mates would read the Nintendo magazine at the back of the school, oval, and we'd always be really excited for the next edition. But there was a period there in Nintendo magazine where there was actually like a romance happening between, because you could send in letters. You could send letters.
God. Okay.
There was a romance that started to develop between two.
The letters are 100% real, just like the Penthouse letters. 100% real.
Yes, they are. Yeah, absolutely. Between a guy and a girl. Like, we followed that. We followed that for months, that romance of that as that developed, and God knows what actually happened in the end there. But yeah, mate, I like. I think the thing for us was that you had to wait.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You weren't. You had to wait, or you had to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
that was how we were allowed to play games, and I kind of feel bad for the generation coming through, or the last sort of the generations has experienced all that sort of stuff for the last 10 years, because there's so many spoilers there. It's whoever's quickest gets there first, gets the likes and the views and all that sort
Yeah.
of shit. You know, for us, when we discovered that glitch, or not a glitch, but you could jump the wall in Wario Stadium, like that was a happy accident, and only because we'd raced that circuit so many fucking times that we got bored and just decided what would happen if we started running into walls at jumps.
Yeah.
You know, like it was that was what we got to grow up with. When do you remember the Simpsons double episode Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Yeah, Maggie Simpson. Waylon Smithers. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Oh, that was so big. They had Channel 10 had a poll. They had I think even the bookies might have had a toad on it or something.
Yes. So the bookies had toads on it.
Yeah.
It made the news. And
massive.
Like it was global. It was global headlines. Oh my God, who shot Mr. Burns? You had to wait a week to find out.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like there was no, it's all released at the one time. Like you had to wait a fucking week to find out who shot Mr. Burns, and it dominated. It dominated us at school.
Back in the glory days. So we got spoiled. We got spoiled with The Simpsons too, though, because first 12 seasons.
Yep.
Golden era.
Yeah, we had the best of it. So yeah, mate, I hold on to this with you know, white knuckles, because for me it's not about how much they're worth, it's about the memories that come with them. And I mean, clearly this is an example, right? Like having these here has sparked so much that we've had an opportunity to talk about, and I will have a smile on my face driving all the way home, having had this conversation. In
the morning, you're not going to though. You're going to be like, "Fuck that jerk." I said I was wrapping him up an hour ago.
And he finally got me onto the nostalgia, and he cooked me, the bastard. But this is the thing, right? Like you know, like for me, as a content creator and as a broadcaster, the thing that I love so much about the job that I do, above everything else, is being able to share stories, because that's what I find rich in life. Like there is nothing. My culture is Italian. Like there is nothing that we have beyond anything that we get. You can make all the money in the world. You can have all the shit that you possibly want, and you know it's a commodity these days, and blah blah blah. But to just sit around and have a chat and share stories is the richest part of our life that we are allowed to have, and it's what separates us from the animals, you know. And I'll be smiling all the way home, having had the opportunity to share these stories with you, and have the excuse to bring them up with you and your community, mate. It's been wonderful. It's really been wonderful.
Which is why I've been trying to do this like all year. Like I've just been, it's been flat stick all year. I've been so busy doing streaming and grinding away at Twitch and everything. And we want to do this all year, and it's just perfect. It's just perfect kismet that we've both been able to do this now. You've been able to chat about Three Little Pixels, and then I've just shoehorned in some nostalgia at the end there. But that's what it is. So you get talking about one thing, and then it just leads back, and everyone's got different stories about games, and everyone in chat's been telling, you know, their stories and stuff. So I think this is really really worthwhile, and I appreciate you coming on for the very first one. I'm going to get Fury 7 on for the second one. I'm going to tie him up and get him on for the second one.
Fury, please. I can't wait to see that one. I will be absolutely waiting there with bated breath for Fury 7.6, because if you think I've shared some nostalgic shit tonight, you wait till you get this guy on showing off his collection and talking about all of his stories. And as an industry stalwart that man is, God, you're in for an absolute treat. So can't wait for that one, mate. But thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a friend, but also for having me on tonight to talk about Three Little Pixels. I'm so glad about where it went ultimately to talk about, you know, the nostalgic stuff. But it's been a real genuine good feeling, and I'm so thankful to have had the opportunity to talk to you and your community about what it is that that we're building, mate. So
No, thanks for coming on. You can find Pete right there. There's his Twitter right there. Go follow him. Go follow Three Little Pixels as well. Exclamation Pixels in chat. Go sign up. You can sign up international. Go sign up. Get involved. Join the Discord as well. Where can they get you tomorrow morning? Where can they hear you, dopey and tired as? Where can they hear you?
Yeah. If you're international, the best place will be to download our company's app, which is called Listener. That's spelled LISTNR. And if you search for Mix 94.5, then you'll find the app, and you just need to convert your time to 6 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time. Actually, funny bloody weekend this weekend, because this weekend's the regatta. It's the milk carton regatta.
Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
I've spent the week with my dad and my mum and my wife and a few other family members and stuff building our boat. It's a thing that, so what we do is it's a thing that used to be around when I was a kid, and everybody would drink their choc milk cartons for months and then build shit out of them. You can find it on YouTube.
I'm going to now while you're talking. Yeah,
Masters Regatta. They built all sort of craft, and then we all raced them at a place called Hillary's Boat Harbour. And if I ever wound up on the station I always wanted to work for, which is one I grew up listening to, which is Mix, which I have done. I always wanted to bring it back, and because I just want to do epic shit, and we got to bring it back last year, and then every year I make a boat for it now. So this year I think we used close to 2,500 cartons for. There you go. There's me. There's me and Kimber and Matt. And this hopefully this shows some of the cute animals and stuff. It'd be great if this shows any of the. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Hey, how bloody.
Now,
those guys.
Do you get Farmers Union over there?
I'm not 100% sure if we get Farmers Union.
Farmers Union iced coffee.
Wow. And look at it. The people lined. That was me blowing.
That's crazy.
People lined the shores, and look at them all.
I like they haven't gone all commercial with Red Bull and shit. Like, just keep it grouse roots. Forget Red Bull and their flog tag.
Yeah, not interested. It just wouldn't be the same. So yeah, those guys built that guitar in a weekend. They got pissed in a weekend. The guys who have the truck, that's Paul Truan and his dad, and they were building him back when he was a kid.
Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, that's this weekend. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Okay.
But yeah, we've built something pretty special for it. I think we've used 2,500 bloody cartons to get it done. So
Jesus.
But yes, I do have to piss off because it's late.
All right, he's gonna go.
But yeah, so the
just one more thing, no.
The listener app, Mix 94.5, and of course, if you're across the country, same thing. And over here in WA, just catch us from 6. You know that. So yeah,
cool.
It's been really nice chatting to you, Jurdville. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I saw a lot of wonderful chat over the course of this chat, and in particular the last sort of 5 minutes as we've been saying goodbye, and it really means a lot to me to see those beautiful words. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete. We'll throw up the trailer one more time, and I will mute Discord so Pete is now quiet. I can chat in though. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you, mate. There we go. Hey, flawless, chat. Flawless. Look at that. Flawless.